These figures from PropTrack that we've been quoting this morning saying that the median rents increased 11.5% last year and that the vacancy rates are still incredibly low, 1.1%. What does that look like? Just paint a picture for us.
Yeah, good morning, Lisa. And look, it's not a good picture. It's not a pretty picture. What it looks like is when you're trying to find a home, you're up against more people than really you would like to be. And it can be very easy to be applying for property after property and being knocked back again and again. And for a lot of people, that's in the backdrop of having to leave their current home, whether it's through eviction, whether it's inappropriate, for whatever reason, they're having to move. And so when you're struggling to be approved for a new place, it can be a very stressful, very worrying time. And we also know that it looks like for people who aren't even looking to move, that they are worried about raising issues around repairs, raising issues about breaches of contract because they don't want to be pushed back into that market. And in New South Wales and other states, we still maintain no grounds evictions at the end of fixed terms, and periodic agreements. And so that means that people feel very vulnerable, even if they're not even trying to move at the moment.
So when people come to you for help or you're trying to agitate and lobby as you do, what power do you have?
Well, what's driving the case for change is that we are one of the most wealthy countries in the world. We have the capacity to solve this problem. We just have to have the political will and the recognition that renting, that housing is an essential service, and it is government's responsibility to make sure that the industry, that the sector is operating to deliver what the community needs, just as we do with energy, with healthcare, with education. These things are part of a safe, healthy, dignified life. We need to make sure that we take the same approach in renting. We
talk a lot about the shortage of housing. That's a longer term issue and debate that's going on to create the housing. The rental prices, though, are something that can be tackled immediately. What are the options, do you think, with that?
That's right. We do need to get to make sure that we have the homes in the locations people want to live in the types that they want to live in. But that will take some time, and the mechanism of how we're going to achieve that will take time to be decided on and will take time to deliver. In the meantime, we can make the renting experience much more reasonable, much more fair by looking at the relationship between service provider and service user, the renter. So rent pricing and looking at that, just as we do with energy and other essentials, we look at how people can afford it by looking at the price itself and looking at the subsidies that might be paid to users. And so we do need to have a look at this. It's been something that politicians have avoided. It's something that economists or some strands of economists have warned against for a long time. But they've been looking at these very old, century-old kinds of rent controls, and they're not looking at modern systems that flourish across the OECD.
Okay, Leo Patterson Ross, thanks very much for joining us.
Absolutely.